I wanted to kill myself from probably 2013 up until 2020, 2021, every day, all day. And I didn't have a reason for it. I didn't know why. I was always a guy, I always looked down on people who committed suicide, just always. I'm like, what a selfish thing to do. Like, cry me a river. Because you see these guys, and you're like, you've got your dream job, your wife's a 10 fingers, 10 toes on both your kids, like they're star athletes. Like there's nothing for you to be upset with. Like, how could you do that? Why would you do that? And they never even know, so you never know. Until it happens to you, it's just so hard to wrap your head around. I just woke up every day. I just didn't want to play the game. I want to hit the big reset button on Nintendo and start over in a different life.
And that was both in service and out of service and during transition.
The medication helped for a little bit. So it was like, it was that quiet noise in the back of your head just kind of subsided. It was always there. I'd wake up in the morning, like, nope, just override, go to the gym. Override and go to the gym. Go to the range. Do this. Stay active like a shark. Just keep swimming. Every time I stopped, things got bad. Don't stop. Just keep going.
Yeah.
But once everything happened, we came off all those meds. I still had to be on quite a few of them. It wasn't a full med washout. We came off the hard like painkillers, so I could feel all the pain. I was still on Cymbalta, still on Adderall, still on a bunch of these things, blood pressure medications to stop nightmares, all this stuff. It's hard to quantify with how bad it was. Just everything you loved before you didn't have anymore. Didn't have the group. There's no group chat. No one ever can tell you to put it on again. There's no purpose. And now I don't have a job. Like, what am I supposed to do now? I never planned on getting out. I never planned on not doing anything less than 30 years. I was just going to do it forever because there's nothing else for me to do. I don't like anything else. I don't have another hobby. I'm not a scratch golfer. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Like, I don't want to do a podcast. Don't want to write a book. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to do this. And now I can. What do I do now? I don't know. Circling the drain over and over. But I mean, now that you're out smoking a bunch of weed, doing a bunch of stupid shit, started cheating on my wife, started doing all the things that I shouldn't have done, all the things I didn't do in the past, I started doing during that transition. And it ruined everything. Everything I tried to avoid my whole time in, I did as soon as I got out. Right? Like everything that everybody does to get them divorced, they've usually been doing their whole career. I'm the opposite. I didn't do any of it until I got out and I was like, yeah, I have no purpose. Might as well just burn it to the ground. I wanted to be divorced because I didn't know how to reintegrate with my family. I loved her, loved the kids, didn't want to lose what I had, but I didn't know how to integrate because I didn't have any practice. And I never looked at it like attaining a skill set. When you talk about being a good husband, being a good father, being a good friend, it's a skill set. You need repetition in order to be good at that. Like how do you raise kids? You got to be there. You got to show up. How are you going to be a good husband? You have to be there. Like the pen pal thing doesn't work in reality. You have to live together. And I didn't have any experience doing it. So when I transitioned, like, what's a job I can get right now that is going to get me out of Virginia Beach and away from this? Not because I don't want to be there, but because I don't know how. And in that version of myself in that moment, the easiest thing to do was to separate. Let me get a job that's got me back in Arizona, skydiving as much as I can, working these contracts. Like, let me just stay busy. Yeah, it's safe. Let me get out of here. Worst thing could have happened. Started a spiral. She got to the point where she was going to shit can me. Like, she was over it. All inside of a year, just like everybody else. And that's when I found out about Mexico. Ibogaine, 5-MeO DMT, and all the things. And that was really like her last call for prayer. If you love me, you'll go to Mexico and do psychedelics.
She find it or you?
She found it.
No way.
She sent it over to me. It was a friend of mine, Marcus and Amber Capone. Amazing. We were in teams together, and he went out to the West Coast and started preaching the gospel about Ibogaine and 5-MeO, and everybody on the East Coast said the same thing. You know, we're all wearing Carhartts and flannels, dip in Copenhagen, and we're like, typical West Coast. Yep, he left the East Coast, he left the motherland, he went out West, and now he's crazy. No. I'm so glad I went. So glad I went. We sat there and we watched this little infomercial. We knew their whole story. Like, we knew the ugly truth and everything they had been through. And he was so open, so honest, so transparent. You're like, okay, well, he seems okay. He seems like he's got a really good balance point, and you call him on the phone and he sounds amazing. He was one of those dudes back in the days when I knew him, his eyes were as black as your shirt. If you wanted to topple a regime with just a single individual, like no rules, no mercy, you just launch him. He was vicious. Like one of those things like, you ever walk through the SPCA and you see these pit bulls, faces all scarred up? You're not going to stick your hand in that cage and try to pet it. That's what he was. He ain't like that anymore. He can still be that guy, but he has full control over it. And I think that's what everybody wanted. Like, I don't want to lose my edge. I don't want to be a pacifist. I don't want to regret everything I've done, but I can't control this version of me that I've now created.
I just don't want to be at the mercy of it.
Exactly. He found control. I mean, if I go down there and lick this poison dart frog or whatever they're doing, maybe it'll work for me. So that's why we went.
What was that experience like?
My life was unraveling in the moment. Like everything that could be going wrong in my life was going wrong right then. Like everything. I was leading multiple affairs. One of the girls was pregnant. Everything that could be going wrong in my life was happening right then at that moment. I went down to Mexico with no intention of coming back. I didn't want to. I have a picture of my phone post-Mexico of me standing on a cliff's edge, looking down about 80 feet, jagged rocks underneath it. I came this close to jumping. That's after Mexico. Because I knew what I was going home to. I was like, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to jump. There's no reason. If I slip and I fall right now, she'll get all my medical, she'll get my life insurance. It'll just be an accident because I am not going home to face this music. But we went down there. I went down with a bunch of heavy hitters, probably 8-10 guys. This little compound in Tijuana, they had a bunch of team guys, call it holding space. They're cooking the meals, they're setting with you, kind of walking you all through it, but it's a 5-day process. You get down to the first day, they give you a drug test, which is kind of ironic. They'll make sure you're not on Adderall, stimulants, so you have to come off of all the meds. That was the thing that I didn't realize was going to be just like being back in that detox hospital. Coming off Cymbalta, if you've ever been on...
What is that?
It's an SSRI, but it's really for pain management, for everything else. But I was on that heavy doses of gabapentin. So when you're on that combination of gabapentin and Cymbalta, they call it the jolts. When you come off of it, your nervous system starts firing again. So you'll sit there and you'll just do this. You're just driving around, you're just
like
jolting.
Hypnic jerks in a way.
Yeah. But it's super frightening because you can't control it and you don't know they're coming on. So you'll like go to get a cup of coffee and you'll just jolt. She's like, what the what's going on with you? And I was like, I don't know. It's happening. But now there's no Adderall, there's no stimulants, there's no pain meds, there's no Ambien, there's nothing. So now I'm a shell of who I thought I was. And now I know I am really, truly dependent on these meds. I was probably on, at the time I went down there, probably 40 to 50. The overall, I was taking 60 pills a day. We weaned off a couple of those things, the Prazosin for nightmares, a couple of those things, but the core remained. A lot of pills.
This is after you'd been washed out of them previously.
Yeah, because a lot of them, you have to stay on them. Like for them, like you're never getting off Adderall, you're never getting off Cymbalta, you're never getting off this, never getting off that. So we're still on them all. But now I have washed off of everything completely. And when you're truly sober for the first time, you get to realize the life you've lived and the injuries you've taken, because now there's nothing masking it. Feeling myself get up in the morning was humbling. Gimping around, limping, just everything hurt. Fibromyalgia, I could barely hold a pencil, like hands just shaking all day. Like it was embarrassing. From who I was a year and a half ago to who I am now, a shell. Like, I don't want to do this, dude. I don't. I didn't want to go to Mexico. I kind of went just to shut her up, but yeah, I had no intention of going back. We get down there, they give you the piss test. You get one night of sleep. The very next day, you're going to do ibogaine. So it comes from the iboga plant in West Africa. Grind this little shrub. You take these 2 pills. You write down some nonsense on a piece of paper you want to burn, like things you're trying to get rid of. And I can't write down any of my stuff because nobody in my group knows that I've been cheating on my wife. Nobody. They don't know I've got a girl pregnant. They don't know any of this stuff. It's just me now. I dropped that thing in the fire.
Can you remember what you wrote?
Self. Like, what am I trying to get rid of? Myself. Dropped in the fire and let it go. So we go upstairs. They've got this sound booth going. It's like these disco lights are going crazy. They've got this yoga practitioner in this white linen thing. She's gorgeous, but she's playing these bowls. She reminds me of Ursula in A Little Mermaid. Just whoa, doing the whole thing. Like, it's a lot to take in. And for us, it's so out there. It's so foo-foo. Like, you're looking around the room at all the people that are in there, and everybody's from your old line of work. And you're like, did you ever think we'd be doing this bullshit? Like, I'm so glad nobody knows we're down here. I lay back down, and if you ask the guys, I probably made it 15 minutes, started snoring, dead asleep. Thought I was asleep. That's when the whole thing started to happen. And it's so weird because some guys don't see anything, but the medicine goes through your body regardless. It kills all your addictions in a single shot. I don't care if it's heroin, gambling, sex, porn, women, whatever it is, all your addictions are gone in a minute. So I dipped, just for reference, I dipped 2 cans of Copenhagen every single day from the time I was 18 up until that morning. Every single day I dipped 2 cans of Copenhagen. When I woke up from Ibogaine, I've never touched it again. I love Copenhagen. I would put in Copenhagen right now. I can't even get it to form in my mouth. It's like my body is auto-rejected. I can't do it. I miss it. I didn't drink coffee for 6 months. I want to drink coffee. I'd get it right to my mouth. No, I just wouldn't drink it. Weird. So I'm laying there. This whole experience starts to happen. You hear these bees buzzing, all this stuff. And I remember parts of the dream, and it'll flash back every now and then, but it was like I was free falling through a vertical wind tunnel, and these dresser drawers were opening up, and they were just distant memories. But you could shift your body over and fly and fall into it. And now you're inside, like as realistic as a studio is. I could feel the temperature, the humidity, the weight of the t-shirt, everything. It was so bizarre. And you could just sit there and relive it. Like whatever's happening right now, I could just sit here, be in third person, just watch it. I could drop into who I am and watch the interaction. I could drop into the other point of view and live it through their eyes. Even if they're yelling at me or whatever, I could be them and feel the rage, understand why they were that mad, and agree with them. Like, you fucked that up. You deserve that. I'd be doing the exact same thing. And it builds a lot of empathy. You're like, I totally get it now. I get why you were so mad. I get why I did this. I get why I did that. And it made you come to terms with a lot of your mistakes. That lasts for 16 hours. I mean, like you were in the medicine. I woke up the very next day, and I have never wanted to teleport home so bad in my whole life. I've never been homesick. I've said I'm homesick. I don't get homesick. I don't. Now I get homesick because I've got a good relationship, but back then, never. And that was the weirdest thing because I knew how much chaos was waiting for me back at home because all this stuff is going to uncork. Right? She's going to find out about all this stuff. There's no other way around it. And that was really the realization is I'm going to have to go home. And if she doesn't know, I'm going to have to tell her. That's just not going to be met well. They give you a full period. It's called the gray day where you're kind of navigating the medicine. You do group circles and all this stuff. And we sat around this big group. I woke up at like 8 a.m. the next morning, like fired up, ready to go. I'm chatty Cathy now. Like I didn't want to talk before. Now I want to talk. I want to know what happened to you inside of that medicine because the shit that happened to me, I got to let out. We sit around that room and all the guys started talking. And I'd known most of these guys for my entire career. Like my best friend was in there. My business partners were in there. I mean, like we really know each other. And only a couple dudes knew how bad it was. Like, I mean, I had episodes while I was still active where I was sitting in my guest room with a trash bag sitting next to me. I was going to put it over my head and shoot myself in the head to not make a mess so she could resell the house. Like, I've told that in confidence to several people. They were all in that room and they were like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't believe that was happening to you. Blah, blah, blah. That next morning, me too. And I was pissed. I was like, you were going to let me shoot myself in my guest room and you were never going to say me too. What's going on with you? And they start to open up and they start to talk about past trauma, childhood stuff, sexual abuse, everything. You've been carrying that for 40 years. He's like, my wife doesn't know, my kids don't know, my parents don't know. You start to see the correlation, the compartmentalization to the ultra extreme. Like at a certain point, you have to be able to share something, and we got so used to just not doing it, you just held it inside. Then you do 5-MeO DMT. You ever done 5-MeO DMT? You should. You should. It's not like anything on this planet. It's super fast. It takes no time to build up, but they sit you down and it's supposed to be a purge. And knowing everything I know now, and I've been down quite a few times now, and I've taken guys down and hosted a medicine for them. everything that conjured up from Ibogaine, if I would not have done 5-MeO and I would have went home in that state, I probably wouldn't be here. I had not come to terms and accepted everything that I did. I wanted to go home and confess and do all this stuff. I was disgusted with myself. Every vile thing I had ever said to my wife or my kids or relationships I had sacrificed and compartmentalization, I felt so guilty for it. And it was like that yard of beer, just trauma. It was coming out of my mouth. It's like, you know, those moments where you're sitting there brushing your teeth, looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, DJ, I can't believe you've done this. I can't believe this is your reality. Like, you've actually done this and you have to live with this shit now. How? How did you get so far off track from where you were to this point now? And you're sitting there literally staring in the mirror just like this in disbelief, like, I can't believe you fucking did this. Like, you're really going to have to live through this. Like, I can't do it. Yeah. I don't want to go home. I don't want to look at her. I don't want to break her heart. I don't want to lose the things I have right now. I don't want to face reality. And it kind of gets you worked up into 5-MeO DMT. And we laid back there and you smoke out of this crack pipe and it looks so intimidating. Like, it's in a little glass vial. I mean, you're heating it up like you're smoking a crack rock. And as soon as you lay your head back, when you exhale, it's like your whole body consolidates into a single spark and then it explodes. It feels and it looks like, you know, when Star Trek is taking off those trails, it's like that. And then you end up in the stratosphere, just surrounded by whatever. It is the craziest thing. But the guy told me, when you go, he's like, hey, whatever happens, let it happen. If you think you're going to die, die. If you think you're going to explode, explode. If you think you're going to drown, just drown. Just one big exhale and let it take you. In the moment, you don't do that. In the moment, you're like, you're trying to hold on to it. So I would throw my arms out, I would scream, and then I'd ball up and I'd cry. 10, 15 minutes of like the ugliest crying you've ever seen. Uncontrollable, like throwing up, crying. Like, cry so hard you throw up. I woke up and I sat up and he looked at me and he went, that wasn't it. What do you mean that wasn't it? Like, that was everything I had. He's like, hit him again. I was like, you want me to do that again? He's like, hit him again. I did 6 rounds of that, dude. Back to back to back, over and over. And on the 6th one, this nurse came over, little Mexican nurse, super cool. And there was a team guy sitting off to my left or right. And he's like, you want to die, right? I said, yeah. And he goes, then kill yourself. Do it right now with the medicine. Like, stop messing around. Stop with all the theatrics. Stop crying. Just do it. Kill yourself right now. It is true. I don't want to go home. I don't want to confess this. I am. I'll do it right now. I'm going to smoke this with the intention to kill myself, and I'm going to hold my breath until it kills me, because I'm not going home. Give me that thing again. And now I went through with the intention, I'm going to close this whole chapter out. So I envisioned the smoke was purple. And as I'm smoking this thing, I can feel it going through my whole body. I'm trying to push it down to my tippy toes. I'm trying to coat my whole self. I held back and I held that thing as long as I could. I could feel my eyes starting to flutter. Like, it's really coming on. It feels like there's a cell phone this big behind your sternum and the whole thing starts to vibrate. And you're like, you can't take it anymore. As soon as you exhale, the whole blast off happens. And when that one happened, it killed me. Killed my ego. It reset the whole baseline. And when I opened up from that one, he looked at me and goes, that was it. How you feel now? And I was like, I've got to get home. I got to get home right now. I got to see my old lady. Got to see my old lady. Got to see my girls right now. I've got to get home. Got to get home right now. And then everything else kind of fell apart from there, and we brought it all back together, and it was rough, man. It was so rough. It was so worth it, though. If I wouldn't have gone down there, I wouldn't be here. 100%. There's not a chance. Not a chance. You gotta go. You gotta try. You gotta do it.
You're really not selling it to me.
Bro,